Hello, everyone. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to participate in your first symposium, and I'm very proud of this opportunity. Thank you very much. So, my name is Faisal Almutairi, and I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Reading in the United Kingdom. I'm interested in, as you are, in the native speakerism, the widespread native speakerism in the ELT profession. And my interest in this topic has been because of what I have seen throughout the years, I would say, in the profession of how widespread is it and how it affects the lives and careers of my colleagues and mine in our profession. So, without further ado, my title can give you a great indication of what I'm going to talk about. So, my title is about the non-native speaking of English language teachers. And in other words, it's how the identity of an English teacher is native or non-nativized uh, discursively, and how this kind of enactment of native speakerism is taking place in the multicultural workplace. And in particular, I am interested in my own country as a context in Saudi Arabia, and because of my personal, I would say personal reasons, and also for I think it's very important, as we will discuss later, to focus on other than, I would say, English speaking countries, context other than the English speaking countries, because there is still much more room or areas to develop in this regard. And my supervisor is Professor Rodney Jones and Sylvia, Professor Sylvia as well. And so my interest in this kind of topic started when I read the literature, and the literature has been clearly, I would say, filled with this kind of dichotomy, of this kind of comparisons between native and non-native. And this kind of comparison has been normalized in the literature. And not only in the practice, it's also in the literature, as you already know, I think. So the movement, the non-native English teachers movement, have been a greater uh, asset of kind of shifting this kind of thinking and trying to, I would say, challenge this kind of notions. And I would say that this symposium is one of the benefits or one of the outcomes of those who first paved the way. So we would like also to thank them for their contribution to the conceptualization of native speakerism. And especially, I would like to refer to the post-structural uh, view of native speakers, which is, I would say, my main starting point of trying to upset or trying to challenge the status quo. And I come up across Anita's conceptualization of native speakerism as non-native speaking, and I would say I have found quite find myself in agreement with much what she said in her dissertation, especially how race is crucially linked to native speakerism, and how discourse is very crucial as well in this kind of non-native speaking, in this active process of non-native speaking. However, there was some issues as well. I would not say issues, but some missing areas in her conceptualization, uh, which is the local English teacher. The local the local English teacher especially in her context, always native English teachers. And in Saudi Arabia, they are not. They are non-native English teachers. And I think this kind of difference is crucial to the dynamics in the workplace. How the locality of the teacher influences their categorization or their nativization or non-nativization, I would say. The non-native speaking in a more precise sense. Also, this is emphasized by as well the gap or the kind of trend of studies in Saudi Arabia, which mainly lies in the comparative strand of native speakerism literature. It's mainly comparing the advantage and disadvantage of being in one of these categorizations, with few exceptions, with few notable and excellent exceptions, as in Al-Anizi 2014 and the Shammari, in which they kind of challenge these kind of notions and moved beyond just asking uh, for attitudes and kind of scores between these groups. And they focused on the employment and the hiring criteria and the advertisements and all of this. However, I would say that there's also another need for the on the ground realities of those teachers inside their educational institutions. I would say that there's also a need, and this is where my project comes in. So I would like to ask these kind of questions. These questions are just preliminary because I haven't yet I just started my field work, and they could be changed due to several factors because of my methodology, which I will discuss in a minute. So I'm interested in the dynamics between what is typically thought of as native, non-native, and the local English teachers as well. So I will through my methodology, through my data collection and analysis, I hope that I can answer these questions in a good way, I would say, and I would maybe shed more light on how the native speaking of the English teachers and non-Saudi English teachers are different, are similar, uh, in which way, how does race plays a part in this kind of dynamics, and so on. And my methodology will combine ethnography with critical discourse studies because ethnography has been more interested in power relations and asymmetries of power and so on, and the critical discourse science because it has moved towards being contextually based, not only just textually based, and also more precisely, the discourse ethnographic approach has been chosen because of how how it's I would say how it can be easily applied, and it will be more focused on discursive strategies and discourse in general, because this remains a discourse study. And a point to note is that my positionality as a local English teacher would also be important. So a kind of reflexive discourse ethnographic approach will be implemented, in which my own positionality and my own contribution will be valuable and will be important to the findings of my studies, because I'm a Saudi local English teacher doing my research on local Saudi English teachers in their workplace, and I will be working alongside them. So reflexivity will be a crucial element in my research, and I think in the literature as well, as you agree, I think. The data collection phase will start with mainly observations with both participant and non-participant. Then we'll go to individual interviews. More than one round of interviews will be conducted per person. And towards the end, there will be two focus groups. one homogeneous and one heterogeneous focus group, in which the homogeneous will be all local English, Saudi local English teachers, for comparison between the two focus groups and more reliable data. The data analysis will be mainly focused on the discourse historical approach, every genres of interaction of work in the workplace, meetings, teaching, interactions in the common areas, and so on, will be examined for discursive strategies, will be observed for discursive strategies, as well as the interviews and focus groups to look for intertextual and interdiscursive links between these kind of contributions, to examine how the non-native speaking discourse is enacted in one of the growing industries, which is the Saudi English language teaching. Thank you very much for listening. So if we sorry for the fast pace because of the limited time. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this talk and benefited from it. Thank you very much.